I'm Haley Taylor, and you're listening to the Rough Draft Diaries. Today we're visiting a school lab. Its actual title is the Natural Science Technology Center, a program from Toledo Public Schools. The space is big. It looks like two massive garages have been emptied and then filled with fish tanks and cages, a few desks here and there. There's a lot to look at.
What you're looking at now is a relatively quiet lab, which on one hand might seem a little stark. Within the next 6 months, this whole wall will be living exhibits of native fish, and so fish that would naturally occur here, and they have to learn the environmental constraints that'll keep those fish alive.
That's Kraus. He's not a teacher at TPS, but he is an advisor over this specific program. And he's the perfect person to have on board, as wildlife, specifically aquatic ecology, is Eric's specialty. He's the founder and coordinator of Standing Rush, which is 600 acres of land and water located on the south shore of Sandusky Bay. He's currently showing me a picture of it.
So this is an overview of about half of the property that I'm working on right now. So this is about an hour from Toledo. I grew up here, have been a lake lover, water enthusiast all my life. This opportunity came to pass about 5.5 years ago. Well, Actually, it was 6 years ago. Eric at the time was working with the Black Swamp Conservancy and juggling a few other jobs in sales when he found a large, 14 parcels to be exact, area of land that was up for sale. Throughout the years, it was mainly privately owned and used as duck hunting grounds. But Eric saw a land of opportunities, so he completely changed course in careers and bought the land. Now, he did have to pitch the idea to his local bank to acquire the funds to purchase the land, but it was a pretty easy conversation to have, as clean water was on everyone's mind at the time. 2014, the water crisis, wetlands became front page news, and as soon as the connection between wetlands and clean water became more of a repetitious story, more and more people are recognizing these are kidneys. I mean, this is a natural function that these environments have provided since the last ice age, and now we've gradually inhibited that ability, and so we have to take really active steps to maximize the function of what we have and look for opportunities to expand functionality. And so that's really what Standing Rush is all about. Once I convinced my wife that it made sense to leave my work and go buy 600 acres of swamp, we had to really get serious about what's the goal here? What are we really trying to accomplish?
The mission of Standing Rush can be captured at 5 different points. The first is to ensure lasting habitat protection and conservation. The second would be to support holistic ecological function. Third, to foster sustainable and responsible recreation, expand the collective value of the organization, and last but not least, to encourage educational enrichment, which is again a connection back to Eric's work at the Natural Science Technology Center.
This is sort of a collaboration of opportunity because it's the home district, and it just happens to be that we've got a budding program that's kind of reinventing itself, so there's real opportunity there. Anytime you can connect local natural resources with an in-classroom curriculum, you go a lot further toward, really getting somebody excited about it. That's why I'm in the classroom now, and why I've spent the last 2 years working with these students. But it's really fundamental to our broader vision of what this marsh can really be about.
Eric mentioned this class is the first time some of these students encounter local fish, and they become quite attached to them as they, for example, raise them from fingerlings to baby northern pikes and then release them back into the wild. It's a rewarding experience for Eric to see these young students become excited about water conservation. Ultimately, they will decide the future and success of the wetlands in Northwest Ohio. But Eric hopes this movement will stretch even farther than our area.
My canned line early on was, this is a book that's getting written a chapter at a time, and I can't tell you how long it's going to be. If it feels like it's time to write the end, I'll write the end. But I would be lying to say that I don't sometimes dream about if we could truly make this a successful model, can we do it elsewhere? And it could go any number of any of a number of different directions. I think a lot of that will be dictated by, how our immediate local community continues to embrace what we're doing. Right now we have really strong buy-in from those around us. I think there's real relief that this was purchased with the mindset of improving it rather than degrading it. And obviously that's all in the eyes of the beholder, right? But for the local community, they're seeing, if anything, there's more life, there's more solitude, there's more water treatment function. I mean, if you want to look at it from a very practical standpoint, and if we can continue to build that, then who knows where it could go. I mean, if there were a standing rush every 30 miles around the entire Great Lakes, it'd be a pretty cool thing. But that's maybe wishful thinking.
I'm Haley Taylor, and thanks for listening to this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries.